Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Darian and today we're going to be doing a little challenge. So these types of videos are very popular on booktube right now. People use something else to determine either how long they read for every day or how many pages they read every day, something like that. So I wanted to hop on the trend, and what I'm going to be doing this week is every day I'm going to let a random number generator choose for how many minutes I read for that day. So what I've decided to do is the numbers on the random generator are going to correspond to minutes. So I think my range I've decided is I'm going to go between 10 and 180. So between 10 minutes and 3 hours. And the reason I'm doing this is I know it would be way more fun if I went all the way up to like 6 hours, but realistically it's just not really possible for me depending on the day because I do work. I'm doing this during a normal work week for me, so I work 4 days a week, and if I got 6 hours to read on a day where I'm working 8 hours, then it's just not gonna happen. So I decided to give myself a little bit of a leeway here, but the thing is that I could get 3 hours on a day I work and I could get 10 minutes on a day I don't work. We'll see what happens. And actually, so I'm starting this on a Monday. Today is the day that I would appreciate having the least amount of minutes, just to relieve some pressure, because I have a weird schedule on Mondays. I work 12:15 to 8:15, and so my time to read during the day is really in the morning before I go to work, on my lunch break, and then a little bit when I come home from work. But then I wake up early on Tuesdays, so I don't like to stay up too late on Mondays. So I would appreciate not getting 3 hours today, but we'll see what happens. Also, yes, I am just getting over a cold, so that's why I sound like this. My tiny mic needs to charge. She's been working real hard, so I'm sorry if the audio isn't great in this first clip, but I will get her charged and she'll be ready for future clips. So I will get screen record ready. So I would prefer for today, just to make it a little easier on myself, like an hour and a half at most. That would be the most helpful, but let's find out what we get. Let me move so I can put it here. Okay, ready? That's not that's not what I wanted for today. 165, so that's 2 hours and 45 minutes. Okay. So okay, interesting. So today I have to read for 2 hours and 45 minutes. That's not really what I wanted. So okay, here's this thing. It is almost 10 o'clock, so I don't have to leave for work for another hour and a half, a bit, but I do need to get my lunch ready for the day, eat breakfast, and just get other things ready. So I will try to read before I leave for work. I will read on my lunch break and then I'll try to finish out the time I have left tonight. But see, I feel like that sounds easy, 2 hours 45 minutes, but like also for me it's more difficult because I have a hard time just reading for a long time. I need to take breaks because I get distracted really easily, so I can't just like sit and read. Like sitting and reading and only reading for like an hour is hard for me. I often have to take breaks to like do something else for like even 5 minutes, but okay. Alright, so, okay. So let's talk about what I will be reading. So today I am starting I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. All I know about this book is that I think it's like, is it sci-fi? I don't know. But it is about this woman who wakes up and she is trapped underground with 39 other women. They have no memory of how they got there. And then I think as the novel progresses, they kind of figure out what's going on. I really don't know much about it, but I know a lot of people, this is like one of their favorite books of all time. And it's very short, but there's no chapters, and the font is very small. So we'll see how that goes. But I mean, maybe I can read a lot of this today since I'm reading for 2 hours and 45 minutes. I can't believe that's what I got on like the one day I said I would appreciate. I shouldn't have said that. We all know that. Okay, well, this is what today's gonna be like. So we'll see how this goes. Oh my god, I'm also like, since I'm recovering from being sick, I'm also like really tired. So like when I get home from work tonight, am I gonna have the energy to read however much I need to read that's left? I don't know. But we'll see. So wish me luck on this first day of this challenge. Hello everyone, it is Tuesday now, and let me catch you up on what has been going on. So as you just saw last night when I got home from work, I still had about an hour and a half of reading to do. I tried my best to read as much as I could during the day, but reading in the morning was kind of a bust because Laszlo was in a barky mood and I had to keep stopping to take care of him. And then I read on my lunch break, but it's only an hour and I was trying to be truthful and pause when I wasn't reading. So I still had an hour and a half when I got home from work and I thought, I can do this. I'll just sit, read for an hour and a half. It's fine. And then I fell asleep. So I woke up at like 1 in the morning. My book was on top of me. The light, like my book light, was like shining in my face. Yeah. And the timer had run out because I didn't stop it because I was sleeping. So I estimated that I had about 20 minutes left before I fell asleep because the last time I remember checking, I had about like 25 minutes left and I was quite sleepy at that point. So I just decided today, whatever amount of time I got, I would add 20 minutes to that. And lo and behold, I'll put it up here, but when I chose the number this morning, I got 145. And if you add 20 to that, you get 165, which is the number I got yesterday. So I again had to read for 2 hours and 45 minutes today, but I knew today would be much more manageable because today I went downtown. I had a longer commute to work because today I was working in the bookstore. So I've talked about this before, but if you don't know, we buy all of our books, or at least all of our English books for our library from a indie bookstore that's downtown. And so once a month I go to the bookstore in person and they have a showroom for librarians and they set up all the books that are available to purchase in the month because I buy only new releases. So they put up all the books that they think libraries would want every month. And then I go and look at all the books physically. And I find this really helpful, especially for books like picture books, cookbooks, any books with lots of pictures to see the quality of the books, and also like nonfiction books about like important topics. I try to skim through those just to see like if I think this is worth having in the library, if I think the information is from like a reputable source, stuff like that. And I love these days because I love the bookstore. I love the employees so much. I love the area it's in. So it's like one of my favorite days of the month to go to this bookstore. And I knew that meant I would be able to get a decent amount of reading done today. So as predicted, I only have, can you see this? I don't know. I only have 21 minutes and 54 seconds left. So I'm not worried about finishing that. I have been listening to my audiobook all day. The whole time I was reading today, I was listening to an audiobook and I decided to start We Could Be Rats by Emily Austen. And I'm reading this for the Buzzwordathon in April because I never got to it. And it was also part of my magical readathon TBR. And I just didn't get to it in April. So I'm reading it for that, but I think I can actually finish this book today because, it's quite short. The audiobook is less than 6 hours, and I am, hold on. I am 77% of the way through, so I think that means I have math. I think that means I have about 45 more minutes of listening because I listen at 2 times speed. I think that's right. And I also need to talk about this, which I was reading yesterday, but I guess let's start with We Could Be Rats. So what do I want to say about this book? This book is essentially, so first of all, huge trigger warning in this book for suicide attempt, suicidal ideation, depression, a lot of mental health issues in this book. So just know that. I mean, I have only read one other Emily Austen book, which was Interesting Facts About Space, and there was a lot of mental health discussion in that book as well. I assume the same is for her other book, Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead. I think that's what it's called. I think that's just what she writes about. So like if those are triggering topics for you, just be careful going into this book. But she does give trigger warnings at the beginning. So at least that. But it's just a lot of discussion about suicide. That's what this whole book is about. So you're following, well, the book is about our main character, Sigrid. I think that's her name. And the book is written as suicide notes. And it's written as like attempt 1, attempt 2. And so at first I thought it was like the different suicide attempts, but it's actually her attempts at writing the suicide notes. So it's written in a very interesting way, and she's a very interesting person to be in the mind of. And I will say about halfway through the book kind of turns on its head, and I don't even know if I can call it like a plot twist, but I guess the way the book is told kind of changes, and I don't want to say any more than that, but this book was sitting at like a 4-star for me. I am really liking what this book is doing. I think it could be a 5-star if it sticks the landing. I don't know. I'm really, really, I mean, it's hard to enjoy this type of book because a lot of it is like, oof. Emily, girl, like, why are you doing this? But I really like how it's written, and I really like what Emily Austen is doing with it. So I think this could be 5 stars. I think I'm going to try to finish it tonight because I just really want to see how it ends. So that's going very well. And if anyone has read this book, I would love to talk about it because, like, what? What? That's all I have to say. So that's going very well. I've also gotten quite a decent of the way through I Who Have Never Known Men. So I did end up reading 2 hours and 25 minutes yesterday, I guess. Okay, so this is not going to sound like a lot for the amount of time that I read yesterday, but I'm really trying to like savor this book and read it slowly because this is definitely written in a way where like I really want to absorb the writing because the writing is beautiful. And there's a lot of great lines in this book, and I don't want to rush through it. So I'm on page 102, so more than halfway. I think this book is about 160 pages, and I mean, what I said yesterday about what this book is about, I think all of that was true. You're following this woman who is trapped in this bunker, and she has been there for as long as she can remember, and she is trapped with 39 other women. And all these other women are older and they can vaguely remember their life before they were trapped in this bunker, but they believe that they were drugged heavily whenever they were taken and put in this bunker. So their memories are very hazy and they're not sure like what is memories and what is like hallucinations. But our main character, she has no name because she doesn't remember her name. She was too young when she was taken. She doesn't remember anything about her life before. All she really knows is this bunker. So basically think of Room by Emma Donoghue. If you've read that book or seen the movie, it's essentially what the kid goes through in that his whole life has been this room. So it's the same thing. Her whole life has been this bunker with these 39 other women. And I can't really say much more than that because this book is so short and like already stuff has happened. But essentially this book is kind of about how these women got there, and I don't want to say anything else. I don't want to spoil anything, but I will say that the writing is beautiful. I love the writing, and I don't know what else to say because I don't want to accidentally spoil it, but I'm definitely happy that I'm finally reading this book. And it's such an interesting point of view to be in this girl's mind who like is learning about puberty and her body and emotions. Like there's a point, so in this bunker, they're being watched by these men, and they're not allowed to touch each other, or else the men will like whip at them to scare them. And at one point, she has this like overwhelming urge to hug one of the women, but she doesn't even know what a hug is and why she feels like she wants this like connection. It's just very interesting. It's a very interesting point of view, and I'm really enjoying it. But again, it's a hard book to enjoy because it's also very sad. You can imagine what these women have gone through. So I'm reading two very interesting, very like existential books right now. But in terms of the challenge, I'd say it's going well, even though yesterday I technically failed, but I made up for it today. I will definitely be reading for 21 more minutes tonight. And I think this challenge is like inspiring me to read more, because I'm like all day while I was working today, I was like, gotta finish my time. So I'm gonna go probably finish We Could Be Rats, to be honest. And then tomorrow I have the day off. So it's okay if I get a higher number, but watch, I'm gonna get 10 minutes. I actually have plans tomorrow. Shocking. I'm supposed to meet up with one of my friends, and then I have therapy. So we'll see what happens, but I'd say so far this is going well. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hello, it is Thursday now, so we have a bit to catch up on. So Tuesday, that was the last time I updated. I did complete the amount of time I had that day, which was 2 hours and 45 minutes, I think. And I did end up finishing We Could Be Rats. So I read that all in one day, which I'm very happy about. I feel like I haven't done that in a long time, but I loved it. I loved it so much. I think it's my favorite book of the year so far. I mean, it's definitely going to be in my best books of the year at the end of the year, but like, I don't know if anything's going to top it. I really, really loved it. It just like hit me. It felt very personal. I feel like Emily Austen wrote it for me specifically, but I will say I cannot stress enough. I think I already talked about this in my last update. It definitely talks about some dark themes. Suicide is a big theme in this book. And there's a lot of discussion about depression and also mentions of sexual assault. So just keep that in mind before going into this book. But if you've read, I mean, I've only read one other of Emily Austen's books, but like if you've read her work before, I feel like you kind of know what to expect when going into her writing, because I would say the tone of her books aren't super dark. Like obviously we're talking about upsetting topics, but I feel like the tone is a little bit lighter. Maybe that's just me, I don't know, but I don't read this. Like, for example, when I read Blue Sisters earlier this year, that like hit me, it affected me personally, I related to it, but also like the tone of that book was very dark in my opinion, so I had a lot of trouble getting through that, whereas this one felt more like cathartic as I was reading it. Also, the audiobook was so well done. I loved the narrator, so I would highly recommend the audiobook if you're looking to pick this book up. But I definitely want to reread it physically because there were so many lines that I want to highlight and like read again and kind of like let them soak in, because I just loved it. There were so many lines that resonated with me. I loved the last like page of this book. I thought it was beautiful, and for that reason, it's why I love the pink cover of this book more than the Canadian cover, which is green. If you've read the book, like the pink cover means more than the green one, as far as I can discern anyways. But I just loved it. I loved it so much. And I think if you like books like that, that discuss difficult topics like that, like for me, I found it a very cathartic read. I felt very seen reading it, and I just loved exploring the kind of relationship between Sigrid and her sister, and I saw myself in both of them. And like as the book goes on, you start to understand both of them, where both of them are coming from, and I just really loved it. I loved it so much. It felt like such a special book to me, and I feel like it's just always going to stick with me. Like, even though I'm one of those people that forgets books as soon as I read them, if you ask me about this book in a week, I can't promise I'll remember much, but like the feeling I had while reading it will stick with me for a long time, I think. So I loved it. I think it's safe to say that I loved it. So I have also continued I Who Have Never Known Men. So I guess we should catch you up on yesterday. So yesterday was Wednesday, and I think I mentioned I had the day off. So of course, when I did the random number generator, I'll put it here, but I got 11 minutes, which I knew I would get the shortest time on my day off. It actually worked out quite well because I ended up having a pretty busy day yesterday. I ended up going out for lunch with my friend that I haven't seen in a few years, and it was really nice just catching up with her. And then I had therapy, which always makes me, well, like the combination of socializing and having therapy made me so tired. So after therapy, I just zonked out and slept for a while. So I actually didn't read for that much more than 11 minutes, but I did get some of this read. And then today, I actually forgot to do the random number generator before I left my house for work. So I had to do it on my phone, and I can't screen record on my phone. So I took a screenshot. So I'll put it here. So hopefully you believe that that is what I got today. But I got 107, which translates to an hour and 47 minutes. So far today, the only reading I've done was during my lunch break at work, which wasn't for that long. So I still have 1 hour. Can you even see that? 1 hour and 25 minutes left. So the plan is to finish this because I have about like 20 pages left, I think. Yeah, I have about 20 pages left. I tried to finish this last night, but I was so tired. I just couldn't do it. So I'm almost done. I'm going to finish it tonight. I think the next book I'm going to start is The Battle Drum by Sarah El Arifi. This is the sequel to The Final Strife, which I read in April. And it was my first 5-star of the year. I loved that book so much. I'm really nervous going into this book, like both because of just where we're at with the plot, but also like I'm just scared I won't like it as much as the first one. But according to my friends, it is as good or almost as good. So I think it'll still be a good time. But in terms of this book, I'm still really enjoying it. I kind of hoped that it would be like a new favorite, and I don't think it will be. Right now it's sitting at a 4, and unless something either like really amazing or really bad happens in the last 20 pages, I don't see that really changing. So I think this will be a 4. I am definitely, I mean, again, I can't say too much because this book is so short, but I am enjoying following our main character, who we don't know her name, but I'm enjoying following her, seeing what's going on. I do find the perspective of someone who has never really lived in the outside world very interesting. Just her learning like very basic things to us, but to her, they're not so basic. I don't know what else to say about this that isn't a spoiler, but I'll give you my final thoughts on this tomorrow once I've finished this. So it is Thursday night. It is like 7. What time is it? It's almost 8, actually. Ooh, I didn't realize it was that late. But I'm just gonna relax for the rest of the night, finish up my hour and 25 minutes, definitely finish I Who Have Never Known Men, and probably start The Battle Drum, I think, is what I'm gonna do. And then tomorrow, now it's my weekend. My weekends are Friday and Saturday. So tomorrow, I do have some plans. I'm probably going to see a movie with Sean. Well, I'll probably come back in the morning to do the random number generator with you guys instead of just always like showing you later. We'll do that. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, it's Friday now, and I am here to pick my numbers for the day, but let me just catch you up on what I ended up reading last night. So, as expected, I did end up finishing I Who Have Never Known Men. My feelings about this didn't really change for the last 20 pages of this book. I really liked the writing in this book, but I wouldn't say this is like a life-changing book for me like it seems to be for so many people, but I really like what it did. And I liked the story, and I'm happy I read it finally because it's been on my TBR for a while. So I finished this, I gave it 4 stars. And then I did end up starting The Battle Drum by Sarah El Arifi. I only got to page 18, so I think that's the prologue and the first chapter. So I can't really tell you much about this yet because what ended up happening was I still had about 40 minutes after I finished I Have Never Known Men. And so I was just going to sit and start this and read until the timer went off. And then guess what happened? I fell asleep again. So this time I woke up at 3 in the morning with this on my chest and my book light in my face. So I don't know what is, I mean, I think I mentioned at the beginning of this vlog, like I've been sick and so I've been really tired while I've been recovering from being sick. So I guess that's the problem, but I just keep falling asleep while I'm reading. So once again, I fell asleep before the timer went off, and I'm not really sure how much time I had left when I went to sleep. So I'm just gonna assume it was 20 minutes again. That just feels right. Because I know I read like at least a little bit. I read very slowly because I was so tired. And I'm pretty sure I remember seeing the timer get to 30 minutes. So I'm just gonna assume 20 I had left. Hopefully we're cool with that. But I think I mentioned yesterday, this is the second book in the Ending Fire trilogy. The first book is The Final Strife, which I read recently, gave 5 stars. This book is, well, this series is a high fantasy series, and it takes place in this empire where everyone is kind of split into 3 different groups. There are the Embers. Embers? I'm going to put the book down because it's heavy. But there are the Embers who have red blood, and they are basically the highest in this hierarchical society. They're the only ones who have positions of power. And then we have the Dusters. Dusters who have blue blood. They are kind of like the lower class citizens. You know, they're still treated sort of well, but they're not on the Embers level. And then we have the Ghostings who have clear blood. They are essentially treated as slaves. When they're born, they have their hands and their tongues cut off to make it difficult for them to communicate. But they have kind of developed their own language that no one else really bothers to learn except for them. So they're kind of like the wild cards. Like, you know, something's going on with them, but you don't know what. So the first book follows 3 main characters, one from each this like group in society. But you're mainly following you're mainly following Sila and Anur, and they were kind of part of this rebel group of Dusters who, when they were both babies, they snuck into Ember households and switched Ember babies with Duster babies. And Sila? I'm forgetting all their names. Yes, Sila. Oh my god. So Sila is one of the Ember babies that grew up among the Dusters, and Anor is one of the Duster babies that grew up among the Embers. And their paths cross, and you're also following Hassa, who is a ghosting, and she's always lurking. She's up to something. Love her work. And then there's like kind of this competition thing in the first book. I loved it. I loved the world building. I loved Sarah El-Arifi's writing. I thought it was great. So I'm very excited to continue the series, but I'm not very far at all. Honestly, I may have to start from the beginning again because I was so tired. But I am excited to see where this book goes because the ending of the first book was a little crazy. So yeah, that's my reading update. So like I said, it is Friday. It is like noon, 12:30. It's 12:30. So far today, all I've done is I've edited this video a little bit and I took a shower, obviously. And I also have some plans later. I'm supposed to go see Sinners today, which I'm very excited about because I've only heard like amazing things about this movie, but I am a baby and I know this is like technically a horror movie, so I'm a little nervous, but my friends have been gentle parenting me and I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be okay. I'll just cover my eyes if I need to. It's fine. But I'm really excited to see it and be part of like the discussion going around about that movie. So we're going to see that. We're going for dinner. So I will be out for a little bit. So I would actually appreciate a lower number today because we're leaving in about 2 hours. So I have a bit of time to read now, but I also have some stuff to do. And then I'll have time to read tonight. But again, like I have been a wild card. Am I just going to fall asleep while I'm reading again? I don't know. So today I'm hoping for a smaller number, especially because I'm going to be adding 20 minutes again. So I'll move over here. I'm nervous. I'm really hoping for like at most, if I could get something under 60, and then it would be a little over an hour. Under 60 would be great.
It's not gonna be under 60, is it? Okay, let's see. Ready? Oh, oh my god. Whoops. Yay! Wow, the first time things have worked out for me. Okay, so we got 17. Excellent. I'm so happy. So that means I'll add 20 minutes to that. I have to read for 37 minutes today. God bless. Like, I really needed a day where I wasn't stressed about this. I think I can definitely read for 37 minutes today, and I won't have to fight for my life trying to stay awake tonight. So, yay! Okay, so I will try to get some reading done before we leave for the movie. And then if I have time left, I'll read tonight as well. And then I'll come back to you tomorrow. I have another day off tomorrow, so I don't think I have any plans tomorrow. So tomorrow would be an okay day to get a big number. But today, we got a low number. Life is worth living. Okay, I'll see you later. Okay, so it is a few days later. It's actually Monday now, so the week has ended and I need to catch you guys up on some things. So let's go back to Friday, which was the last time I updated. So Friday, we ended up going to see Sinners, and obviously it was amazing. I loved it. It was a little scary. I definitely had to close my eyes at some parts, but I feel like I was very brave. And honestly, like, I'm really glad that I went to see it because I haven't seen a new movie that good in a while, it feels like, and a movie that was just like so original too. So I'm really glad I got to see it in theaters, and I can't wait to see it again actually, because now that I know when all like the scary stuff happens and I'm more prepared, I feel like I'll be able to enjoy the story more, because I spent most of the movie being like when is something scary gonna happen? So it was amazing. I loved it. And then we went out for dinner, and I did end up completing I think it was 37 minutes on Friday. So I didn't read much more than that. I think as soon as the alarm went off on my phone, I went to bed because I finished out the timer after we got back from dinner, and I was so tired. So as soon as the timer went off, I closed my book, went to bed. But I did complete the 37 minutes. Then the next day, Saturday, it was kind of a weird day for me. I didn't have any plans, and it was raining, so I was like, wow, I'll have a cute cozy rainy day reading my book. And I believe here, I'll show the number generator here. If I'm remembering right, I think I got 59 minutes. So I was like, for sure I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna be spending the whole day reading anyway. And then I started reading, and I just wasn't like, my brain just didn't feel like reading. I don't know what it was. I was in kind of a weird mood on Saturday, and what I really felt like doing was watching a movie and coloring. So that's what I did. I watched Love, Rosie, because I haven't seen it in a long time, and I'm so happy that that's what I did, because I think that's what my brain just needed, was like a cute rom-com and just coloring. And yeah, I'm really glad I did that. And then after that, I watched some of Sid's sprints for her Patreon, and I did end up reading the 59 minutes that day. But then yesterday came along, and I knew yesterday was going to be rough in terms of reading whatever amount of time I got, unless it was 10 minutes, because I did work yesterday, and after work, we went to Sean's dad's for dinner. So I knew I wasn't going to have a lot of time to read, and of course I believe I got an hour. Here, I'll put it again. So you can see, I believe I got an hour. No, because I got 77. So that's an hour and 17 minutes. That's what it was. So I ended up only reading like 17 minutes yesterday. I read a bit during my lunch break, and then like right after work, we went straight to his dad's house. Obviously, I didn't read there. And then we got home like kind of late, and I was just like, I was so tired. So I knew that I would be pushing the rest of the time to today. So here we are, Monday. But it's good because I actually have the day off today because it is a holiday in, I always forget if it's just in Quebec or if it's all of Canada, but whatever, it's a holiday. I don't have to go to work today. That's all that matters. So the leftover time I have from yesterday is an hour and 3 seconds. So I spent the morning editing this vlog up until now, and now I'm gonna sit and read for the remaining time I had from yesterday. So I'm going to be continuing this. How much of this have I read? You would think more, probably. I'm on page, oh wow, I stopped in the middle of a chapter. I'm on page 98, so I'm not even 100 pages in. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know, maybe if it's because my brain is just not in a fantasy mood, maybe. Because I am enjoying this, and I'm happy to be back in this world and with these characters. And actually a new character was just introduced, so I'm really interested to see what that's all about. But yeah, so it's not that I'm not having a good time. I think maybe I just haven't been in the fantasy mood. So I'm gonna sit and read now for an hour, and then we can finish this vlog off. Actually, let's see. I know people do those, like, how much can I read in an hour? Except if I do that, I'll be stressed and I won't actually read much. But like, let's do a light challenge to see how much I can read in an hour and 3 seconds. So let's do that. Okay, the hour and 3 seconds is up. I made it to page 150, so I read 52 pages, which is pretty good for me in an hour. I know most people can read more than a page a minute. I mean, for me, it depends on like the font and everything, how big the font is. And also, like, for me, fantasy, I can't do a page a minute because my brain is just working harder. But 52 pages of a fantasy book in an hour, that's pretty good. There were a lot that happened in those 52 pages. Things have been revealed. We have like new questions have come up. There was a lot that happened. So that was a very good 52 pages that I just read. So I guess that concludes this reading challenge. I'm really happy with the amount that I was able to read last week. I finished 2 books, and yes, they were both short books, but one of them I read in a day, which is pretty good. And then I got, I don't know, a third of the way through the Battle Drum, and I'm happy that I started reading this and I'm continuing the series because I just love the first one so much. So yeah, that concludes this challenge. I definitely want to do something like this again. So if you want to see, if there's a specific challenge you want to see me do that determines how long I read for, how many pages I read in a day, in a week, whatever, let me know what you want to see from me because I definitely want to do something like this again. I had a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you watched till the end, leave a drum emoji for the battle drum. And I'll see you guys soon with another video soon. Bye!